Hey guys, this is Shane and Deanna with DnSAdventures, and now this is part 4 of our collaboration with Bridgeview Adventures, and this one's going to be about bad situations and laundry on the road.
Bad situations.
Bad situations.
Oh yeah, we're all gonna have those no matter what.
Not just bad situations with breakdowns, but just bad situations as a whole. I mean, you could have sicknesses in the family that you need to tend to. So you know, we can easily drop everything and go back.
Yeah, because we're generally closer to home, so we can just
mechanical
pull away quickly.
The mechanical issues can just be so much. You just say, "The heck with it! I'm going home.
Yeah,
I'm breaking the cycle of this bad luck, and I'm going home." Or in this case, this weekend, actually for this entire week, at this campground, it has rained every single day.
The whole week.
We don't care about rain. Rain here and there is fine. This has been torrential flooding, which has been going across the United States.
Behind us.
This behind us right now looks like a river. It's not a river. It's supposed to be a creek, and you can easily walk across this without getting your shoes wet. This has literally flooded up
in the campsites.
Off the campsites, the pavilion right beside us was 4 feet underwater just this week.
Well, we'll show you. We were actually staying down here on the river or creek, whatever. It's a river now, and we actually had to double up to go up the hill to where the flooding wasn't on the other campsites, because we couldn't stay down here because of the flooding and the potential for more flash flooding and rains coming in. So,
but in the same sense, we may do with that. But the same sense was, we could have just went home.
We could have went home if we had to,
and we would have been done with it. But we were able to get around it, and it was fine. But we have that ability. Just being part-timers, we can throw in the towel on a weekend and say, let's go home. We'll do this another weekend. Or before we came on the entire trip, we could have said, let's just reschedule this for next week. Reschedule it, gone back to work, worked another week, and then gone the next week.
Yeah, they did give us the option of changing our days or the week to a different time in the year, but we just decided to go ahead and stay. But that might not have been an option if we were full time, because we'd be on a schedule to go somewhere else instead of just going home and coming back another day.
And you already have reservations at your next
place.
leap.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely one pro. And also the mail is a big issue for a lot of full timers. For us,
ours is in the mailbox at the house right now. So.
Yeah, and if we want to put it on hold for a week, we can just get online, hold mail, and then pick it up a week later. It's super simple. Yeah, so that's definitely a pro of not being on the road.
What about if I need to order a part for the RV? How do I get on Amazon and have it delivered to another location like that? So yeah, I didn't even know Amazon Locker existed until this morning. I was watching another video and he talked about Amazon Locker. Never knew it existed. So that is easier for us because we can just have it shipped to the house and literally be sitting at our doorstep when we get home.
Yeah.
Something some people don't think of is when you go to a new location, a new state, a new area, is the local wildlife.
Yeah, the wildlife. So we're familiar with the wildlife around here. I mean, really, there's nothing that's going to really bother you.
Raccoons.
Well, there have been some black bear sightings, but in general, black bears are not going to bother anyone unless it's a mama with some cubs. Then you might have an issue. And they do put warnings out, not to leave your trash out and things like that. And there's some maybe very few mountain lions, but we've never seen anything like that for the most part. So we know, and there's copperheads here. I mean, I've really never seen one. I've seen a few snakes around.
But we also know how to handle what we have. What we have is squirrels and raccoons. We know how to lock our stuff up at night. We know how to close the containers. We know how to deal with the animals we've got.
Yeah.
If we went to a new location, we went out west to Arizona or something, I leave my shoes outside of the
scorpion?
camper. So you could wake up and I could have a scorpion in my shoe because I don't know that you need to keep that indoors or above or turned upside down. I wouldn't know that. So,
well, I'll tell you the one animal that I'm scared of the most, and this could be full-time or part-time RVers, is those crazy mice that get in your camper. I don't have nothing to do with those because they are destructive. They will get up in there and they will tear up your foam in your seating. They will leave their poop droplets everywhere. They chew up clothes.
But we don't have that problem.
Not yet. I want to keep that from happening. So that can be anywhere that you go.
Yep.
And then anything else? No, we talked about bad weather. I mean, with bad weather, you can just reschedule your trip for the most part. But you do have to find, if you decide to stay at the campground and you get bad weather suddenly, you do have to find out where you can shelter from the tornadoes, because a lot of campgrounds don't have, they have shower houses and things like that. You gotta find out,
Yep.
the local campground areas where you can take shelter from thunderstorms and tornadoes and things like that.
We had potential 60-mile-an-hour winds last night.
Yes.
So we were able to go to a local building here on site that was all concrete and take shelter in it, and
in the basement.
And
we did. We were there for an hour.
We took dinner with us, and we all ate there in the
Potatoes.
basement, and we had baked potatoes in the basement.
So as thunder is rolling around in the background, our next topic is
Bad situations.
bad situations. So one that's not nearly as dramatic as what we'll discuss later is shipping. Sometimes shipping can be a bad situation because you might need medical supplies or something. Like Deanna's utilizing a doctor out of Wisconsin for Lyme disease, because we're in Wisconsin at the time when she got that diagnosis. So getting medicines shipped to us while we're being traveling and stuff like that can be an issue, or just getting any of your stuff that you need while you're on the road shipped to you can be a hassle. Amazon, if you can get it through Amazon, great, but not everything can ship through Amazon. So
unfortunately.
And to go along with that, sometimes we have to stay 2 weeks at a location rather than just 1 week, just to ensure we can get that shipping or whatever item that we need shipped to us. So if you have plans to explore a bunch of areas, it could be good to stay for 2 weeks, but if you wanted to move on, sometimes you're just stuck in that area for a couple weeks to get your shipping.
We've also ran into the situation where some campgrounds don't allow packages, especially if you're staying at state parks. So we've had to utilize general delivery at the post office in a few instances, which it's fine, but it's just another hassle.
Yeah, and the campground that we're currently at, we found out in the last one, for some reason our campgrounds couldn't get USPS. They could get UPS and FedEx, DHL or whatever, but for some reason USPS, the campgrounds didn't have their own mailbox or something, so we actually have to go to the post office, which is fine. The problem is we don't get notification
we didn't know that. So
Another possibly bad situation is you kind of have to research the area you're going to before you're there. Like the last two places we've been in grizzly country, so having bear spray, grizzly bears or mountain lions, rattlesnakes. When you're going on a hike or whatever, you really have to research the area before you go there. So we haven't really had any issues with being attacked wild animals or anything like that.
But just the fear of not knowing how to deal with them, like rattlesnakes scared me a lot, because I've just heard so many stories.
I got bit twice by fire ants while we were in Florida. No matter how hard I tried to, one was in Florida, one was in Louisiana. So that's one bad situation, or animals, I guess you could say. Another possibly bad situation is running into some interesting people along your travels. Most of the people have been nice enough, maybe a little strange, but nice enough that we've been able to just kind of talk our way or move out of the situation. But there could be those situations where you might just have to move. Like at our current campground, I'll just say we had a situation where almost everyone leaves their dogs off leash, which that's perfectly fine if your dog's well behaved. Well, not all the dogs here are well behaved. We had a dog actually come after me and grabbed onto my pants. It didn't rip them or anything. It wasn't like vicious. Well, I guess you could say it was snarling its teeth and stuff at me. But I didn't get hurt, is what I'm trying to say. But you could run into situations where they do actually bite you and stuff. So it's good to kind of be prepared now in those situations. I might even carry a can of pepper spray for me, just so I don't have to hurt the dog. Like just to protect myself, Blaze or Deanna. I jumped between them and this dog, and the dog went after me. Of course, it's just this little dog. I could have kicked it if I wanted to get out of the way, but I don't like hurting animals. But that kind of leads to the next subject. Always be aware of your surroundings wherever you go. that's one thing you really have to learn as an RVer, because wherever you go, it's going to be a new place. You might not be familiar with it. Just have to kind of keep an eye out for strange things that might be happening.
Yeah.
Security, strange people, strange animals, strange anything, strange activity of any kind. You just kind of want to keep an open eye out. You can't just, okay, I'm on vacation, enjoy this. You really have to be on the lookout.
And especially if you plan on leaving your RV to go on a bunch of day trips, something to keep in mind is how secure is the RV park you're staying in. Do you want to be in a place that's gated, or are you okay with leaving it in a less secure area? It's always good to realize like what's surrounding your RV park too.
That, and if you're going, like for us, we try to spend the holidays in a location. We try to find a gated community to leave the RV for a little bit, because our family might be on the other part of the country depending on where we are. So just trying to find a secure location where you can rest assured that your RV is going to be fine. All right, so the biggest and baddest of all situations for us so far hasn't been people, it hasn't been animals, it's been the weather. And honestly, we haven't had so much of a situation where we've had damage to a rig and everything, but we've had some close calls, really. Yeah, we've had some really close calls where ping pong size hail, somehow we didn't get damage from the ping pong size hail. I don't know how we don't have dents all over our truck. We've been to many different RV parks where almost every single car in the RV park had dents in it. Yeah, so like South Dakota, Colorado, there is a bunch of situations there where it hailed every single week we stayed pretty much at the campground. So some of the hail bigger than others, but hail's really been one of the biggest issues.
And one of the scariest things for both of us coming from places where hail isn't quite so common, like not knowing at what point is hail dangerous. Like, should I be freaking out over quarter size hail, or is it suddenly like dangerous at ping pong size? Like
when we were in Texas, they were saying we're going to be getting baseball size hail. So I went off to a hardware store and I started buying cardboard and stuff, trying to figure out a way to armor our RV, because we're in this RV park and there's no covered parking anywhere. Like you either have to get in your rig and move it somewhere, but
how do you know where the hail's going to be?
And in Texas, if any of you have been in Texas, these storms are massive. They cover large areas, and it doesn't really matter where you go. So you either move your RV to like underneath a gas station, or you just risk it, basically. Try to prepare yourself as much as you can, and hopefully stuff doesn't happen. But that kind of gets going on with storms, storm shelters. We're in Tornado Alley for quite a long time, and we had a lot of tornado warnings. And I guess, which area do we want to talk about first?
Tawakoni in Texas.
Yeah, so we actually went to a bathhouse there. Usually bathhouses are the one place you can go to, but not all bathhouses are tornado proof.
Storm shelters,
Ones with cinder blocks on them, I trust those a lot better than sticks and bricks.
Well, in Florida, jumping back to a different one, there were several tornado warnings there too, and we thought we were going to the shelter, and then we come to find out once we get there, it's not the shelter. We're just in some wood-framed bathroom, basically.
Yeah, the shelter was it was a massive RV park. It was on the other side of the RV park, so. But every single place in Tornado Alley, we seem to have either hail or tornado warning or something. Like, it was a bad stretch. We had a lot of situations, or switching away from storms, going back to snow. When we were in New Mexico, it started snowing on us in May?
I think it was May.
Anyways, weather can be a bad scenario. You have to kind of plan accordingly and try your best to stay out of it, but if it comes down to it, abandon the RV. The RV is not worth staying and hunkering down in. It's not going to protect you in most scenarios. So try to find some shelter somewhere if you know something's big coming. So baseball size hail, it's probably best not to stay in your RV. Another less threatening situation, since weather is probably the biggest one that we went. I guess we probably should have built our way up there.
Oh well.
But cell signal. If we don't have cell signal, we can't work. We can't work. We're probably not going to be too happy with this. So luckily, most of the places we've been able to have enough reliable situation where we've been able to work. The last few places like around Wyoming, northwest Wyoming, that's probably the worst place we've had cell signal wise so far. Luckily, cell boosters do come in handy in those situations. Most times we try to get in a situation we don't even need a cell booster. We can just work off our regular devices, so we don't have to worry about it. But sometimes we do have to get in those scenarios where cell signal can be an issue.
Hey, Tony!
Hey, what?
Guess what day it is?
What day is it?
Laundry day! There was
stinking.
no Tonys hurt in the making of this video. Everybody's favorite, laundry day. Hey, laundry for me, being a weekend warrior, is super simple. We have a awesome laundry hamper, and I just throw all those dirty clothes in there, and I fool with it when I get home.
And that's what when we get home.
Yeah, we just take it in and out, and it doesn't matter, you know, as many clothes as we have, whatever we have, we know that we're going to be home, and we have a huge washer and dryer. It doesn't cost us anything, you know, except for the electricity. We don't have to dig for coins or change or anything like that.
We don't have to buy. We don't have to carry around, you know, detergents and
Supplies,
all that, and dryer sheets and everything with us.
Yeah, dryer balls
And
or
spend
whatever.
part of your time and your vacation sitting in the laundromat. So.
Yeah, so we can just bulk laundry at home. It's really simple. So just have to carry it in and out, but it's super simple. And
because we go on planned trips, we plan our clothing, and we pack the clothing according to that trip. We usually have more than enough clothes to wear for every single day.
yeah,
So there's no need to have to go washing clothes.
right. If we don't want to wear a shirt the next day, you know, we can change frequently because we know that we don't really have to save on the clothes in the laundry because we're gonna be home and have fresh clothes like that.
I did change my shirt for the video.
I didn't. I've been wearing this shirt for 3 days.
I can tell.
Hey, sometimes I do wear shirts multiple days. The socks I have to change though.
Next subject is laundry.
So laundry is not really as big of a deal as we thought it would be on the road. It still can be a pain depending on your situation, but I mean, we try to usually utilize what the campground has to offer, even if it's not that great. It's usually cheap enough that we can just put it in for another load or something like that, but depends on the campground.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're really not good in, what was it, Mississippi?
Louisiana.
Louisiana, we were using a state park's laundry and it just never dried at all. So I had to get creative. I used tent poles, and I put some chairs out, and I made a
makeshift laundry rack.
Yeah, laundry liners, whatever you want to call it. The air dryer clothes. Luckily, it was kind of a windy day, so it dried them pretty quickly. But sometimes you run into those scenarios. Usually, we can go from 3 to 4 weeks between loads of laundry. I know storing laundry can be an issue. Some people have different means of doing it, but we just store it underneath our bed, since that's a pretty good place for storing laundry. And if you have some stinky laundry, it stays underneath there. It doesn't really radiate throughout the RV, so it's usually a pretty good idea to do that. And like we said earlier, it's not always possible to have laundry at the right place at the right time. Like, even at this campground, I don't know if there is a laundry facility, and our next one we're staying at for 2 weeks doesn't have a laundry facility, so we knew that in advance. But there is a laundry facility like 7 minutes away from our next campground, so it's going to be right down the road. So back to that fatigue and thing, that's another thing you kind of have to fit in there, is trying to figure out where you're going to be doing your laundry. But we have it pretty much set to a certain time schedule that 3 to 4 weeks we know we're going to have to do laundry. Another exciting day, or buy a bunch of new boxers.
So I think there's been 1 or 2 campgrounds we've stayed at that actually had their own payment system.
In Florida, I think.
In Florida, yeah. So we had to get these special cards. And you like paid through this machine, and then it spits out a card, and if you want to refill it, you have to keep refilling the card. And it was kind of annoying. I don't think we ever got all our money back out of it.
Yeah, you have to pay so much for the card, and the numbers didn't add up, so you couldn't use up your full card on a load of laundry. So
I think they do that on purpose to make more money.
Just to keep more money on the card that you never use, I guess. Just be aware of that. Hope you guys enjoyed this 4-part series with our collaborators Cindy and Tony from Bridgeview Adventures. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like it. You can also check us out at
DnSAdventures.com.
And as always,
adventure on.